Hi, fifth graders. We're going to learn a little about idioms today. And you may have learned about these other years, maybe in fourth grade or third grade. Idioms are phrases that people use in everyday language which do not make sense literally, but we understand what they mean and what people mean when they use them. They're sayings or phrases that sound very strange unless you've heard them before. Like, for example, raining cats and dogs. When people say that, it's a very strange thing to say unless you know that it means it's raining really hard. And that's the funny thing about idioms. If you've heard them before, it's easy. If you've never heard them before, someone has to tell you what they mean, or you have to figure it out from the context because it doesn't mean anything about what the actual words say. So let's look at some of these. An idiom is an expression that has a meaning apart from the meanings of its individual words. For example, it's raining cats and dogs. Its literal meaning suggests that cats and dogs are falling from the sky, but we know it means it's raining hard. To stick your neck out is to say or do something that's bold and a bit dangerous. A similar idiom that's used for a slightly more dangerous situation is to go out on a limb. In both idioms, the idea that you put yourself in a vulnerable situation. You're not really sticking your neck anywhere, and you're not really climbing out on the limb of a tree. You're actually just putting yourself in a vulnerable position. To break the ice is to be the first one to say or do something with the expectation that others will follow you. So break the ice it doesn't have anything to do with ice. It just means you are the first, and hopefully that makes everybody feel comfortable and they warm up to it. To get long in the tooth is one that you hardly hear anymore, but it just means to get old. It came from horses. As they get older, their gums recede, which makes their tooth look longer. And you don't hear that one very much. But now that you know, if you ever hear someone say, get long in the tooth, it means they're getting older. To have a chip on your shoulder, it usually means a person who is aggressive or rude or like defensive, ready for a fight. And a chip on your shoulder, and it has nothing to do with anything being on your shoulder. It's kind of funny how that goes. Okay, food for thought. Taking 2 bites of the cherry. To be honest with you, I had never heard this one before. So this is how idioms are. If you never have heard of taking 2 bites of the cherry, you have no idea what people are talking about. Someone has to tell you. So I looked it up. Taking 2 bites of the cherry means getting a second chance at something. It's like you had a bite out of something, and then you had a chance to go back and take another bite out of something. Selling like hotcakes means it's selling really fast. I don't know if you can see these lines, but they're bugging me, so I'm going to get them out of here. Going bananas means you're going crazy, acting crazy. Okay. Feeling like a fish out of water or being like a fish out of water, it means you feel uncomfortable because you're in an unfamiliar situation. So you feel like a fish out of water. Where does a fish feel comfortable? In the water. Where do they feel uncomfortable? Out of the water. So this one actually makes a little bit of sense. Some of them don't make any sense, but this one actually makes a little sense. For example, I don't like going to big parties. I always feel like a fish out of water there. Or Todd is a country boy raised in a small town and was like a fish out of water when he visited the city. Okay, what does this mean really? Shake a leg. Well, they're giving you a few clues here. He's looking at his watch, and there's a clock up here, and this looks like it would be very hard to walk with this. It looks like it might slow you down. Shake a leg means hurry up, get going. Okay, let's get to the next one. And this one, hang on. And it shows a picture of them hanging on. What does hang on really mean? Persevere. Don't quit. Okay, so this next one. This one is to turn someone off. To turn someone off means to disgust someone. It's like I get turned off. I didn't like that. It disgusted me. But look, she has an off switch on her. That's not what it means. You don't have an off switch. Okay, let's try some of these. I'll pause for a minute, see if you've ever heard of these. These have to do with numbers. Dressed up to the... You should have said nines. Dressed up to the nines. Okay? 1 in a, did you say million? That's it, 1 in a million. Playing blank fiddle, playing second fiddle. And finally, in blank heaven, in seventh heaven. Dressed up to the nines means you're all dressed up the best you can look, like the red carpet. 1 in a million means that you're so rare and wonderful that there's only one person like you in a million people. Playing second fiddle means you're not first, you're next. You're like, there's someone better taking the center stage and you're kind of off to the side. In seventh heaven means you're in heaven, you know, you're just happy. Okay, do the next one. It's called animal crackers. These are all about animals. It's raining blank and dogs. It's raining, did you say cats and dogs? You're right, it's raining cats and dogs. I've got a in my throat. I've got a frog in my throat. Those are just blank tears. Those are just crocodile tears. He's taken the lion's share. And I smell a, you should have said rat. I smell a rat. It's raining cats and dogs. We know what that means. It's raining hard. I've got a frog in my throat means you've got a hoarse voice. Those are just crocodile tears means you're faking it. You're pretending you're really sad. They're fake tears. He's taken the lion's share means he's taken the most. And I smell a rat means something seems wrong. Seems like something is dishonest. Okay. So, can you define what an idiom is? Idioms are sayings that, well, idioms are sayings that don't mean the exact words that are said. You have to know what people mean when they say them. But if somebody says something like, that turns me off, it doesn't have anything to do with an off switch. So idioms are sayings that don't mean the literal words that they say. There's a different meaning to them. Okay, nice job. Hope you have fun learning idioms.